Hello there, it is Kendra. How are you today? Welcome. So I wanted to hop on and talk to you about something today. I had a thought that came to me the other day, and I was talking to a good friend of mine about it, and I thought, you know what, this would make a really good Facebook Live, right? I think it's something that we get to talk about. And so I'm going to hang out here for a second and see who joins us. And while I'm waiting, hello, say hi when you hop on. I'm going to share this onto my business page, not my personal page, my business page. So say hello. If you are watching the replay, what I would love for you to do is to put a comment below, #replay, so that I can come back and say hello to you. If you are here with me live, I want you to put a comment down below and say hello to me. So here's what I want to talk to you about today. The title of this live stream is You Can't Have Everything You Want. And I got to thinking to myself the other day because I was thinking about all the things that I desire for myself, all the things that I feel I really need to be supported and to do the work that I know I'm called to do. And I remember as a little girl, I would ask for something. I would say, Mom, can I have this doll baby? I really want this doll baby. I really would love to have this Barbie, and I want this and I want that. As kids, you're always asking for things, right? Like my daughter does it. She's asking for things all the time. And one of the things that I would hear a lot, say hello as you're hopping on, hello. One of the things that I would hear when I was younger is, well, Kendra, you can't have that because you can't have everything that you want, right? You don't get everything that you want, Kendra. And I want to know from you first, before I get into this topic, have you ever been told the same thing? Has this been something that you have heard in your life, that you can't always have everything that you want, that you can't always, life doesn't work that way, right? You don't always get what you want in life. Who has been told that before? I want you to leave me a yes in the comments if you have been told that before, that you can't always have what you want and that's not the way that life works. I want to hear from you. So I'm going to look for that comment coming through, your comments coming through. So as I got to thinking about this, it brought me back to when I was a little girl. And in the back of my mind, whenever my mother or maybe somebody in my family would say to me, Kendra, you can't have everything that you want, I would always think in the back of my mind, well, why can't I? Now, I would never speak that out loud as a little girl because I would have gotten in so much trouble. But as an adult, as a woman now, I think to myself, well, why can't I have what I want? Right? Who says I can't have what I want? Why can't I? I should be able to have everything that I desire. And I believe that a lot of us, especially if you're a woman in business, and even if you're not, if you're really honest with yourself, you have this belief as well. And maybe you're not conscious of it, but that's the reason why I wanted to do this live stream. Hey, Ricky. That's the reason why I wanted to do this live stream, is because whether you realize it or not, you've heard this at some point in your life, that you can't have everything that you want, that that's not how life works, that life isn't fair, all these things, right? So say hello as you guys hop on. I would love to say hi to you. So what does this even mean? And how does this show up in your life? And how is this causing you to hold yourself back? So I want you to think about this. When you have this belief, someone has said this to you when you were young and you're walking around thinking unconsciously, I can't have everything that I want. This is life. I've got to just, be happy with what I have and not ask for too much. Here's the thing. There's a story behind that. And so I find a lot of women do not step up and ask for what they want because of three things. One, you don't want to be seen as greedy. Right? You don't want people to think that you're a greedy person if you happen to ask for what it is that you want. You don't want to be seen as being too much. And my favorite is you don't want to be seen as high maintenance. Who's been told at some point in their life that they're high maintenance? I know I have. And when we hear that, we think it's such a bad thing. We think that, to be high maintenance or to have these high standards is a bad thing. So what do? You don't ask for what you want, right? You beat around the bush about it. You settle. And I have a really deep belief, and it's part of my mission to help women understand that you do not have to settle for anything. You don't have to settle for what you do not truly desire. And you get to hold out for what it is that you truly want, what you truly desire. And so here's what I want you to understand today is that if you've been a person or a woman who has heard this, that you can't have everything that you want, or that you're high maintenance, or that you're being too greedy or whatever, that has nothing to do with you. And I say this over and over again, but it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with how the other person perceives what you're asking for. And so what happens is people will say this to you based upon their standards. So people may say to you that you're asking for too much, that you're being a diva, or you're so high maintenance, or whatever it is that they say. But that's based upon their standard that they have set for their lives. So if that's the case, and you live your life or make decisions in your life or make decisions in your business based upon other people thinking that you're greedy or too much, then whose life and whose business are you really creating? You're not creating your business. You're not creating your life. Hi, Sanov, how are you? No, you're not. You're creating theirs. You're creating a life based upon the standards and expectations of what other people say is just right for you. And I'm in a place in my life where I'm just like, that is just not good enough for me anymore. Right? It's not good enough for me anymore. I want what I want, and I get to have what I want, and you do too. And I want to share with you what this looks like to show up for yourself in a way that that empowers you, right? And in a way that will allow you to expand in your life and in your business. So here's the thing. What this requires of you is it requires of you to step into your power. It is time for you to step into your power and own what it is that you desire. And where I see this playing out is a lot of the times us women have a hard time asking for and receiving support. Asking for and receiving support. And if you are going to lead the life that you dream about, if you're going to lead the business that you dream about, it's going to be required of you to step into your power, to own what you want, and to ask for and receive the support that you want, that you need, that's going to help you move forward. So then what that requires of you is that you've got to step outside of this unconscious box you created for yourself because of what you learned when you were a young girl. You've got to step outside of that box and choose to, hey Marta, and choose to step into your power and ask for what you want and believe that you can get what you want, right? So asking for what you want, yes, it does take courage and it does involve some personal risk. But that's a part of the game, ladies. That's a part of this game called life, is stepping into your courage and allowing yourself to put yourself at a little bit of risk to get what you need to get to support yourself in the best way possible. So asking for what you want does take courage, and it also it requires you to practice some vulnerability, to be honest. It requires you, hey Lisa, to practice some vulnerability. Now, we don't like vulnerability because we feel like it's so unsafe and that it's not, that you're not safe if you're vulnerable, or that you're weak if you show any vulnerability. But here's the thing. Vulnerability is a part of the process of getting what you want. Period. So can you give yourself permission to be vulnerable? Can you give yourself permission to drum up the courage to ask for what you want? Or will you continue to settle for what you really don't desire, or settling for just enough? I was talking to my client this morning about this, And we were talking about something different. We were talking about femininity and stepping into a feminine energy and all that. And so she said to me, she's like, Kendra, you know what? For so long, I just kind of settled for what was enough. And how many of us women have done that, right? I have done that. I have done the same thing, right? I've settled for what I really didn't want because I was like, well, it's good enough. And so I want to really be the catalyst that breaks that for you, to where you can step up and say, no, that's not what I want, right? I really would prefer this. So Lisa says, vulnerability is so scary for me. I know, Lisa. I know, my love. It is scary for us all. It is scary for us all. But the thing is, as soon as you allow yourself and give yourself permission to be vulnerable, the power of that fear that you have is gone. See, we give the fear of being vulnerable so much power because we sit in our minds and think about how scary it is and oh my God, what if this happens? And what if people judge me? And what are people going to think? And we give so much energy to those thought patterns and to those ways of being and thinking that we are giving that fear so much power to where it just overtakes you. If you can get out of your mind just for like a few seconds and just say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to be vulnerable. The fear is gone just like that. That is how powerful you are. But if you stay in the loop and in the stories of it being scary and, oh, I don't know if I can do this and I don't like this, then you're just taking yourself out of the game before you even get started. Right? So yes, it is scary, but guess what? We still get to do things that are scary and be successful. We still get to feel the fear and do it anyway. That is where you expand and grow. Let's see. So another point that I wanted to make today is that we don't ask for what we want because we don't truly believe that we have a chance at getting it. And I'm saying we here, I'm just saying we is in general. I've grown through this, but I think collectively there's this feeling that, I'm not going to ask for what I want because, thank you, Marta. I'm not going to ask for what I want because I don't really truly believe that I have a chance at getting it. And so you know what's happening there is that when you feel like you don't have a chance of really getting it, what's happening is that your brain is trying to figure out how you will get what it is that you want. And that moment right there, when you sit and try to figure out how it's going to happen, that is where you take yourself out the game again. Because trying to figure out how you're going to get what you want is not your concern. I have a deep belief in my faith and, in this beautiful universe that we live in. And I have learned and I know that when I set the intention for what I desire, I set the intention, I think about what the actions are that I need to take to move me closer to that intention, and I leave the rest to God, I leave the rest to the universe. The how always shows up in my experience, always. The right person shows up, the right book that I need shows up. I come across something online that helps me. So let go of trying to know how you're going to get the thing that you desire and just choose to believe that you get to have it and that you do absolutely have a chance of getting what you want. And the third thing that I want to mention before I wrap this up, and I'd love to know, you all watching, if you have questions around this, if you have thoughts around this, if this is resonating with you, please let me know in the comments, because I really do, I'm interested in hearing your perspective and hearing what you think and hearing your experiences. So the third thing is, we can be afraid to ask for what we really want because we're afraid of actually getting what we want. Think about that. Now, I know to our minds, again, having what I desire. And the next thing I want you to ask yourself is, and why is it a bad thing to want the things that I want? Why is it so bad? And really think about the stories and the experiences that you have had in your life that have caused you to believe that it is a bad thing to want what you want, that you're being too much, that you're being a diva, that you're being high maintenance. I want you to think about that. Journal on these questions. How am I not allowing myself to have what I want? And why is it a bad thing to want the things that I want? Let me know Like, seriously, do this and come back and let me know what comes up for you. What experiences were triggered as you answered those two questions? What thoughts came up for you? How do you believe that you can move past it? Right? This is how we grow, ladies. This is how we expand, is by questioning our beliefs, questioning what we've believed our whole entire life, and really asking ourselves, well, why can't I have that? Right? Who says I can't have what I want? I can have whatever I want. And listening to what comes up and feeling into what comes up, and then choosing how you want to be and think moving forward. Right? So I will leave you with that today. I'm so grateful for all of you that are here with me live, that have commented. Remember, if you're watching the replay, please comment below, #replay. And I am here for you. So if you feel like you need support in this area because you're not showing up fully the way you know that you're meant to, because you're afraid of being vulnerable, or you're afraid of being visible, or you're afraid of really, going after what you want, and that fear is getting in your way, and these stories that you're creating in your mind, it's getting in your way, then I invite you to reach out to me and let's have a quick chat. Let's have like a 30-minute conversation about what this is for you and how this comes up. I would love to talk to you about this. So I'll put my link below where you can book some time on my calendar so we can talk about this and I can share with you how you can move through this. You're welcome, Marta. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'll put the link below and you all let me know. And I can't wait to hear from you and to hear your thoughts and what comes up for you. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye.